Good hello folks, how you going? Thanks for joining me in the brewery for tasting day on this fella, the Impromptu Black IPA. This is a beer that was not planned or anticipated or thought about until I had a bit of a muck up. Well, I had an advantageous, on the original video I called it an anomaly. I had excess runnings from the BFO Stout that I've done recently, and I didn't want to waste it. I thought I could make a beer out of it. So what I ended up doing was making what I call the Impromptu Black IPA. By taking the wort, I added a little bit over the can of pale malt extract. Go back up and have a look at the chat from the brew. There's no brew day video as such. It's just a chat about what happened and what I did and what I was sort of thinking when I did it. And this is her. A whole whack of talus was gone into this fella. Late in the boil, at flame out. A cool, almost a hop stand, dry hops on day 1, day 2, day 3, and then I dropped in some Citra on day 4, some Galaxy on day 5. Again, the recipe's in the description of the original video of the brew day, so you can get back and have a look at that if you want. So basically I've taken a stout and sort of tried to hop it up and get into a black IPA, and I did comment on that original video that I was concerned that because it was coming from that stout it was going to finish too much like a stout and not so much black IPA, because the reality is, had I sat down and designed a black IPA, the grain bill would have been quite different than what it was. But this is where we are, and this is the beer. It's 26 days since it's gone into the keg. It's been in the fridge for about 2 weeks. We've done under pressure. It had some pressure on it. It's been brought up to, sat on serving pressure for the last 2 weeks, and up until about a week ago it was running fairly hop harsh and a bit grassy. But that ties in with, as I always say, that sort of 3-week mark, for letting your beers go. And since that 3-week mark, it has started to improve markedly. I had a glass of this on Sunday, so 2 days ago, and the hops are really starting to come together. And this be her now, so we're almost at 4 weeks, just a little bit shy. It's a robust, yet sort of still a little bit delicate nose for an IPA, but there's light tropical fruit there. There's a little bit of sort of hints of floral note on there, but most of the note is coming from the malt itself, from the grain bill. There's a little bit of chocolateness and sweetness there, a little bit of coffee all around. It's got a really nice smell. Like I said, it's not really big, but it's got a nice nose. She looks good. It's pours a nice big heavy head. It probably looks quite black from where you are, but from my side with some light, it's quite brown, with a sort of a reddish hue going on. Sort of maybe or the very upper end of you have a big red IPA, like maybe a triple or even a quadruple red IPA, that sort of colour. But yeah, I can't really show you that, so you have to take my word for it. But anyway, let's have a go at her. The taste is good. There's sweet, there's some sweet malt. There's nice body, there's nice creaminess. It's got a fair whack of mouthfeel. There's oats, there's wheat in the in the grain bill. There's lactose in there as well. So it's holding some good body. Started at 1066 initial gravity. It finished at 1016, 6.6 ABV. So she's not a bloody certainly not a session beer. It did finish a little bit higher than I was sort of expected. I didn't think it would have gone quite that low, but that's where I thought we might have got 6.2%, we got 6.6. I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, it feels really nice in the mouth. There's nice fruits. It's like a mingling of stone and some melons. None of them really standing out on their own, but it's like a very much a mingling. There's a bit of dank on that, a little bit of pine. So I think the Talus is really delivering some nice stuff, and then that little bit of Citra and Galaxy on that day 4 and 5 is just bringing up that little bit of fruity edge, just tying it all together. So as a beer on its own, it stands up quite well. The hops are just starting to come together. I said in the last couple of days. I was worried they weren't going to come together, but they have. So that's good. But yeah, I can't really give it a thumbs up as a black IPA because it's not really there. It's more a hoppy stout sort of a thing, but it doesn't really push there either. I really can't think of a place that it comfortably sits. And look, listen, the reality of it, I haven't really thought about it until I just made that comment just before. But I suppose it could technically push into the realms of like a double, red IPA. Look, it's got some hints of red, but even that is sort of pushing. So it's sort of, it's grabbing little bits of a couple of different styles, but not really fitting into one or another. I'd hate to have to try and put this into a competition because I'll just have fucking no idea where to put it. We'd probably have to go into a specialty type of body category, but then there's nothing particularly special about the ingredients to do so. So anyway, Impromptu Black IPA, has it been a success? Yes. It's a beer I can drink, which was the main thing I was looking for with taking them running. I didn't want to waste them. So I wanted to make something with them that I was going to get use out of it. I've certainly done that. So I've got a keg of quite tasty, dark, hoppy beer, which will see me nicely through, the dark, fucking miserable depths of winter. It seems that I still need to brew a black IPA at some point because I don't think I've ticked that box yet. But anyway, that's it. So, if you got any comments or any questions, anyway, stick him down the bottom. Thank you to all the supporters of the channel. I said there's links down the bottom. There's things you can hit and all the rest of it. But that's me. So until I see you on the next video when we brewing beer, drinking beer or talking beer. Good brewing. Mm.